the way with a game-high 28 points, including 22 in the first half alone. He then handed the reins to Karl-Anthony Towns, who scored 19 of his 25 points in the second half to help close it out. Another storyline, though, from this one came when CJ McCollum's leg kind of kicked out on a jump shot, and it striked Jalen Brunson in the groin area. After review, it was upgraded to a technical foul, and McCollum had plenty to say about it post-game. Listen to this.
I shot a jumper, and Jalen thought we were at a Broadway show. And, he acted it out until they reviewed it, and it's a normal jump shot, nothing there. Unnecessary, and I look forward to getting my $2,500 back.
Okay, CJ. Was the McCollum play a dirty play, Wendy? What do you think?
I had a hard time figuring this one out. I don't think it was a dirty play per se, because that's not what CJ, that's not who he is. That's not his character at all. And, occasionally Jalen has been known to, make sure he gets free throws. That said, when I watched the replay of this, Stephen A., something happened that put me onto Jalen's side, which is the look that Jalen gave CJ when he came back on the court after the review. That was not a look from somebody who got one over on someone. That was the look of someone who just got hit in the groin. And so I don't think it was on purpose, but I do think it was legit. That's my final ruling.
Wendy, I'm very, very disappointed. I don't need to see a reaction on Jalen Brunson's face when McCollum came back on the floor to know what transpired if you saw the play. You ever see Shay, Wendy, Eddie Murphy in stand-up? Many, many years ago, he's joking. He said, you even woof in that area, it's enough to make a man collapse. You even woof in that area. Every man knows that. When we talk about crimes against men, that's one of the top crimes. You can woof in that direction. And it is an incredible level of discomfort. I'm play fighting, Shay. I'll never forget this as long as I live. I'm play fighting with my little nieces. This is many years ago. Little nieces, at the time, they were no older than 3 years old. You understand? And I'm playing around with one of them, and I'm beating up her little brother, my niece's little brother. And my little niece, 3 years old, comes up from behind me and kicks me. She's 3. And I collapsed face first right onto my mama's living room rug. You woof in that direction. You woof in that direction. It is a crime. CJ is a man. He knows that. You don't even have to have direct contact. It could be in the vicinity. And there is a heightened level of sensitivity that kicks in that makes you look at the dude because you know, man to man, you're supposed to know better. It's certain things you just don't do. Come on, CJ. You can't point the finger at Jalen Brunson like that. That was a very, very, very bad thing. I'm not saying it was intentional because CJ ain't that kind of dude. He's a great guy. I love CJ. But come on now. He ain't faking it. We sort of play. You were in the vicinity. And I think CJ wears at least a size 11 or 12 shoe. Damn it. Wolf would have been enough. And that wasn't a wolf.
Okay, well,
all parties are acquitted. Not dirty, not fake.
That's right. Between the woof and then the words afterwards, now this creates a little bit of tension here for Game 2 tonight. So, Stephen A., let's go back to Game 1. Did that Knicks performance prove they're destined to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, or do you need to see more?
No, I need to see more. I definitely need to see more. But I love the fact that they amped up the pressure, that they rattled Atlanta, and that at times Atlanta couldn't seem to get going. I like that. I like the fact that Jalen Brunson came out and let them know who the hell he is and that these are the playoffs and he ain't messing around. And Karl-Anthony Towns did the same. That's what needed to happen to open this series. That's what did happen. OG Anunoby, obviously, is somebody that, he twisted his ankle, so he's questionable for the game. We expect him to play tonight, but you just never know. The Knicks are the better team. The Atlanta Hawks are young, up and coming. They're going to play you tough. It's not going to be an abundance of blowouts or anything like that. But the Knicks are supposed to win this series. They handled the Atlanta Hawks the way that they were supposed to handle it. Now they got to make sure they do that and go up 2-0 going back to Atlanta this week.
That was a very solid Game 1 victory over the Hawks. And I would just say to Knicks fans, my advice, which you probably won't be interested in, but my advice is don't evaluate Knicks wins with style points. Because this is one of the things that I've seen throughout the season. The Knicks had a quality year. They had one stretch where they went 2-9, where they were pretty disappointing in that stretch. And you can take that apart at a later time. But if they don't go 2-9 in that stretch, if they even play 500 basketball, they would have been the number 2 seed. But throughout the entire season, there was just this constant evaluation about how this team wasn't performing maybe to the level of their expectations. Even when they played well, it came with asterisks. And that even happened in Game 1 here. They had a quality win, but people were like, well, Brunson didn't play well for the first quarter. Towns only played well in the second half. You just got to take a Knicks win and accept the win and don't worry about the style points. This is a team that is not going to impress you, but they do win games, and they got a lot going for them. They're going to have to play awesome if they're going to beat Boston. We'll get to that when we get to it. Atlanta has been a very good team for 3 months now. Anything that you do, whoever steps up to get you to 4 wins, that's all that needs to happen. The Knicks are not an impressive team visually, but they are an impressive team when it comes to putting together victories. They did that in Game 1. I would expect them to do it 3 more times in this series, and then we see a showdown with the Celtics. But obviously, the Knicks fans have very high expectations after the way they played last year and the way that this team, including their owner, came out before the season with the intention of getting to the finals.
You should also have very high expectations based on what you're seeing from Boston, because Boston is next, assuming you get past Atlanta, and they ain't messing around. And they're coming for vengeance because you knocked them out last year. We understand that. And that's where Jason Tatum got hurt too. So all of those elements are in play, and we can't ignore that reality. If you're the New York Knicks, you want to win this series, you want to do so as quickly and efficiently as possible, because you're going to need all your horses going up against Boston in the next round. There is no way around it. You've got to be ready. You don't want this series extended. You don't want to get drained. You don't want to get injured. You don't want any of those problems creeping up. You need to be ready to go for the next series, because that's what it's all about.
I think what was encouraging to watch from the Knicks is I don't think, and I would assume you agree with me, they played their best basketball in that Game 1 against the Hawks, and yet they still kind of dominated. Like, Jalen Brunson did not play the best, especially in the second half. Karl Anthony Towns said he felt rusty in the first half. So we'll see what happens here in Game 2 tonight at the Garden against the Atlanta Hawks. Coming up, strong words over the weekend from Steve Kerr that got us asking if it's an end to an era in the Bay Area.